I want you to check out this picture of Kylie Jenner, specifically her lips, and how they went from looking like this to looking like that. When her family shot to fame thanks to their reality show, and partly due to Kim's leaked adult video, which I'll get to in a sec, Kylie's lips got a ton of flack for supposedly being too small. But just a few months later, they looked totally different, making people suspect she was getting injections. It got so much attention that a viral internet challenge popped up where folks sucked on a glass to create a vacuum and pump more blood into their lips. Kylie, though, swore she hadn't had any surgery or injections, saying it was all makeup tricks, only to later cash in by launching a lipstick brand that made her even richer. I wouldn't even be bringing this up if it weren't for what happened next. Months after the launch, Kylie fessed up that she did get injections. It's kinda shady, sure, but it also shines a light on a problem women face every day, one that chips away at their self-esteem while stuffing the beauty industry's pockets. The Kardashians are the perfect example of this. So, to get why these folks, who some say have zero talent, got famous, you gotta dig into their roots. It all goes back to their mom, who many call the mastermind behind one of history's biggest media crazes. Her name's Kris Jenner, born November 5, 1955, in San Diego. She grew up with her mom and stepdad after her parents split. As a young woman, she worked as a flight attendant, jetting around and meeting people. In 1973, she met Robert Kardashian, and though she wasn't into him at first, they reconnected years later, started dating, and tied the knot in 1978. That marriage gave Kris his last name and 4 awesome kids: Kourtney Kardashian, Kim Kardashian, Khloé Kardashian, and Rob Kardashian. Robert's kids grew up comfy in Los Angeles. Big houses, trips, private schools, the whole luxe deal, though they weren't famous yet. Those connections cracked open the door to showbiz. Kim, especially, hung out with celebs like Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton, who's from the Hilton Hotel fam. But things took a rough turn when Robert found out Kris was cheating with a football player. He said he still loved her but couldn't get past it, so they split. Just a month after the divorce was final, Kris remarried, this time to Olympic medalist Bruce Jenner. That brought 2 cute daughters, Kendall and Kylie Jenner. The kids from her first marriage had to blend into this new family, one tied more to sports and entertainment. Meanwhile, Robert kept at his business until 1994, when the Kardashian name hit the spotlight again. That year, his close pal O.J. Simpson got accused of murdering Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. Robert dusted off his old law license and joined O.J.'s defense team. He wasn't a big courtroom player, but his constant presence in that mega-hype trial put the Kardashian name on the world stage, without anyone even knowing it yet. And that name? It's been ringing ever since. Come the 2000s, Kim started hanging out more with her buddy Paris and kicked off a relationship with music producer Damon Thomas. At 19, she ran off to marry him, but it was less a love story and more a scandal. Turns out she tied the knot while high, and they split after 3 years. Then in 2003, Kim took another hit. Her dad, Robert, got diagnosed with esophageal cancer and passed away 2 months later. At that point, Kim started rethinking her life and set her sights on fame. Part of that plan, she worked as a stylist for actress-singer Brandy, and through her, met Brandy's brother, Ray J. Sparks flew between Kim and Ray J, and they were soon an item. Early in their relationship, they jetted off to Mexico and decided to film an intimate video, something that'll matter later. As a stylist, Kim widened her celeb circle, tagging along with Paris Hilton to events and getting her name out there. Back then, Paris was way bigger, thanks partly to her own leaked video that scored her the Simple Life reality gig. In 2006, Kim and Ray J called it quits after 3 years, and she moved on, opening the Dash clothing store in Calabasas with her sisters. Around then, family matriarch Kris Jenner started pitching a reality show about their clan to producers. Dead said it'd be a smash hit. Lucky for her, TV host Ryan Seacrest, huge in the 2000s, already wanted to do a family-focused show. When Kris pitched it, he was all in. But the biggest shakeup for Kim and the family was still coming. What went down in early 2007 flipped their world upside down. For better or worse, you tell me. Remember that video Kim and Ray J made that I said would matter? Well, here it is. In 2007, Kim found out Vivid Entertainment had put her intimate video with Ray J online without her okay. She was kinda known already, but this blew her name up globally overnight. Devastated, she sued Vivid until they settled. Kim got $5 million, and they could sell it as Kim Kardashian Superstar. The cash came, but her self-esteem took a beating. Still, Kris saw a silver lining in all the buzz. She'd been dreaming of a family reality show for a while, and when the video hit, she had 2 thoughts. As a mom, she was pissed. As a manager, she knew it was go time. Some folks find it fishy that the video dropped right before the reality show kicked off, thinking it wasn't an accident, but part of Kris's plan to guarantee success. That theory got legs when Ray J claimed he'd signed a deal with Kris to make multiple videos with Kim, leaving the tapes with her. Kris denies it, and the show's producer swears the project was greenlit pre-scandal. Still, lots of people reckon the show took off cause of that video. Either way, the reality gig landed on E, and by summer 2007, filming started. They called it Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and it debuted that October. Result? Total smash. They pitched it as an unscripted family sitcom, showing off their luxe life, then tackling some drama with a feel-good family lesson. Early on, the vibe was upbeat, though that shifted later. In season 1, the Kardashians had money and connections, but weren't mega famous yet. The main stars? Kim, Khloé, and Kourtney. I've covered Kim, but now let's meet Khloé and Kourtney. Khloé and Kourtney had childhoods and teens similar to Kim's. In fact, while Kim was Paris Hilton's assistant, Khloé was Nicole Richie's, Paris's bestie. But there's a key difference, at least for 2007 viewers. When the reality show premiered, Khloé got a lot of attention for looking different from her sisters. She's taller, with a bigger build compared to Kim and Kourtney. Viewers couldn't help but compare and comment on her weight, leading 23-year-old Khloé to develop body image issues right from the show's start. As I mentioned, Kim's goal was fame, and Kris Jenner was all in on making that happen. Step 1 was landing the show. Now they had to keep the audience hooked, and they did, with viewership climbing weekly. But some episodes blew up big time. One iconic moment is in Season 1, Episode 4, when Kim gets a major career boost, posing for Playboy. At first, she's hesitant to go nude, but her mom talks her into it. This leads to a classic scene where Kris joins Kim at the photo shoot, cheering her on as she poses covered only in pearls and diamonds. Another memorable bit from Season 1 is when Khloé gets arrested for DUI. It's serious, but Kim laughs while telling her mom, showing the show's carefree tone. The first 2 seasons hooked viewers by flaunting a world of luxury and drama turned into entertainment, a lifestyle that seemed out of this world. Another reason for their popularity? The beauty image they projected, especially Kim, whose Playboy cover set a standard for how women should look back then. Tiny waist, defined curves, bronze skin, flawless makeup, and clothes that highlighted every inch. This ideal didn't come from nowhere. It was built through episodes dedicated to their makeup, workouts, and diets. So, their fame went beyond entertainment. They became beauty influencers. And with all that attention, it was time to cash in. The Kardashians expanded their brand through other projects and collabs, especially in beauty. Kim posed for Playboy again, this time for another cover, competed on Dancing with the Stars, and launched her own perfume. Among the products they promoted were waist trainers and weight loss pills. So far, the Kardashians seemed to live a dream life thanks to fame, but with it came criticism. The big one. They're famous for being famous. Journalist Barbara Walters summed it up in an interview. You don't act, sing, or dance, you have no talent. Harsh, but many tie fame to talent, something they don't seem to have at first glance. Still, some see it differently. They think the Kardashians have a talent that's relevant today, and I'll tell you what that is later. Keeping Up with the Kardashians got so popular that in 2009, during Season 3, they announced the first of many spin-offs. Kourtney and Kim Take Miami. The show follows the sisters as they open a second Dash store in Miami. By then, Kim had cemented her place in pop culture, proven in 2010 when Madame Tussauds in New York made her wax figure. A year later, Kim made headlines again by getting engaged to NBA player Kris Humphries after just a few months together. By then, the reality show was in its 6th season, showing more of their lives, including the proposal. But things weren't perfect for the couple. Tensions arose over money, and Khloé, among others, doubted Kris was the one. Still, they pushed ahead with wedding plans, and the engagement sparked media madness. It was all anyone could talk about. Kim capitalized on the buzz by launching a perfume, Kim Kardashian Love, released on her wedding day. When the big day came, it was a spectacle, documented in the reality special Kim's Fairy Tale Wedding. On August 20th, 2011, Kim and Kris tied the knot in California. For a moment, it seemed the family had nothing to worry about. The newlyweds looked happy, and Kim's world seemed perfect. Well, at least for 72 days, because after that, she filed for divorce. The entertainment world exploded again with news of their split, and people accused Kim of using the marriage as a publicity stunt to promote her TV shows and beauty products, like the perfume she launched for the wedding. After months of media and socials talking nonstop about Kim and her wedding, folks got fed up and started a petition called No More Kardashians to get the show off TV, gathering thousands of signatures. But even if people claimed to be tired, they kept watching, so the show got renewed for 2 more seasons. Meanwhile, Kim faced a messy divorce. Kris Humphries didn't want a divorce. He wanted an annulment, which is tough to get. For him, it was about his religious beliefs, but Kim stuck to divorce. Their differences dragged the process out for years, and during that time, Kim reconnected with an old friend she clicked with again, Kanye West. March 2012 brought another scandal for the family, but this one wasn't just about them. It could affect hundreds of thousands of people tied to those weight loss pills I mentioned. Let me explain. By now, the Kardashians were a powerhouse brand in pop culture. That image opened doors with beauty and personal care brands, including a weight loss pill called Quick Trim. They hired Kim, Kourtney, and Khloé as the face of the campaign, and it was a hit. Sales raked in millions. People bought the product, consciously or not, thinking it'd make them look like the sisters. But it backfired. Soon, A group of women sued Trim and the Kardashians, claiming false advertising. They used the product, saw no results, and dug into the ingredients, finding out the so-called weight loss components were just caffeine and herbs that don't do much. The lawsuit directly blamed the sisters for pushing sales of a deceptive product. Linking the Kardashians to a weight loss product was smart for sales, but it blurred the line between selling a product and profiting off people's insecurities, especially since the product was bogus. Keep this in mind. It's the start of a pattern that'll escalate. In April 2012, Kanye invited Kim to his Yeezy fashion show in Paris, and their friendship turned into something more. The relationship moved fast, and by August, Kanye made his reality show debut, cleaning out Kim's closet. In December, Kim shocked everyone by announcing she was expecting her first child with Kanye, something she hadn't planned before marriage. The pregnancy was tough. She had preeclampsia and struggled with body changes. In June 2013, their daughter Northwest was born, and Kim was ready for the next step with Kanye. They got engaged on October 21, 2013, Kim's birthday. Kanye went all out, renting a football stadium in San Francisco, hiring a live orchestra, and inviting family and close friends. When they announced the wedding for May 2014, it was clear this one would be over the top. Kanye handled every detail, starting with luxury, like renting the Palace of Versailles for the rehearsal dinner. The day before the wedding, 200 guests flew to Paris, toured the palace gardens, and dined in the Hall of Mirrors while Lana Del Rey sang, "Young and Beautiful." But that was just the rehearsal. The next day, everyone hopped on private jets to Florence, Italy, for the ceremony at the stunning Forte di Belvedere. Kim wore a custom Givenchy dress with a cathedral-length veil. As Andrea Bocelli sang, Kim walked down the aisle, and they vowed to love each other. Joining Kanye made Kim part of one of the most high-profile couples, and her style transformed. She ditched flashy 2000s looks for a sleek, minimalist vibe, thanks to Kanye, positioning her as a fashion icon for the first time. With this new direction, in winter 2014, Kim landed one of the most famous magazine covers ever. Paper magazine featured her in a black dress that showed off her backside. You probably remember when those photos dropped. It was all the internet could talk about. On one hand, it was great for her media-wise. The world was buzzing about Kim Kardashian again. On the other, the revealing pics sparked criticism and rumors that she'd had multiple surgeries to achieve her figure. Inevitably, those rumors spread to the rest of the Kardashians. It might seem shallow, but I think it's deeper and impacts society more than you'd think. Let me break it down. By this point, we've seen that everything the Kardashians do gets unprecedented media attention. Every photo, every campaign becomes news. But most of that attention boils down to two things: gossip about their personal lives or their looks. Ultimately, they're figures who live off their image, and that's not inherently bad. The tricky part is that all this exposure has turned faces and bodies like Kim's, and models in magazines or on runways, into benchmarks for what people see as valuable or admirable. As I've said, self-esteem is never just self, because it's always framed by others. It's the result of comparing how you look to what society deems worthy of value, admiration, or attention. So, when what you see in the mirror doesn't match what's on screens, social media, or runways, it's almost impossible not to feel less than. And what makes it worse is that it's an unfair comparison because the standard is literally unattainable, something many people know and exploit for profit. In a bit, you'll see why I say unattainable standard and mean it. Kim and Kanye tried for another kid, but the second pregnancy was rough due to preeclampsia. In December 2015, Saint West was born, and Kim needed 5 surgeries after delivery. When she wanted more kids, doctors warned another pregnancy could be life-threatening. But let's pause on Kim to talk about the other family members. Now, it's time for the younger sisters, Kendall and Kylie. When the family got famous, they were just kids, but by 2014, they're teens. They grew up on camera, which shaped how they see the world. To them, it was normal to have cameras around 24/7. Though they admit fame has downsides, they agree the worst is the pressure to look perfect. Unlike Khloé, who dealt with these ideals as an adult, Kendall and Kylie faced them from age 11. Thanks to their family, they had amazing opportunities, like interviewing the Hunger Games cast at the premiere or appearing on America's Next Top Model. Kendall started modeling at 13 with Wilhelmina Models, quickly moving from brands like Forever 21 to walking for Chanel and Dolce & Gabbana. By 2015, she was one of the top models, becoming a Victoria's Secret angel and landing on Forbes' highest-paid list. Kylie didn't focus on fashion like her sisters. She went for social media, posting pics, gaining followers, and inspiring teens with her style. With all that exposure came criticism, especially about her too thin lips. Over time, her look changed. She got tanner, and her lips looked fuller. The change was so noticeable that many suspected she'd had injections, but she insisted it was makeup. The buzz led to the Kylie Jenner Challenge, where people tried to copy her lips. Seizing the moment, she launched Kylie's Lip Kit in 2015, which sold out instantly. Later, she admitted on the reality show that she did get lip fillers. This is a textbook example of two things I mentioned: impossible beauty standards and how self-esteem is shaped by others. But there's a third piece: the beauty industry, which often profits from insecurities it helps create. We live in a world that constantly shows us what's valuable, and Kylie Jenner is a prime example. A figure who grabs attention, headlines, and millions of likes. The issue is, standards like hers are impossible to meet. Not because she's fake, but because her image is crafted with injections, makeup, surgery, filters, and Photoshop. These are figures we inevitably compare ourselves to, even though they're not real, making the comparison unfair and damaging. As we've seen, if what you see in the mirror doesn't match what's on screen, it's hard not to feel inadequate. And it's worse because the beauty industry often exploits that insecurity. First, it shows you an ideal, then sells you this solution to get closer to it. But those products always disappoint because the ideal isn't real. Kylie's lip kits promise to help you look like her, but it's impossible because her look is edited. I don't think it's wrong that Kylie got lip fillers. Everyone's free to do what they want with their body. The problem is lying about it and then profiting off others' insecurities with a product that can't deliver. That's why love yourself can feel hollow or even mean, because it's not a switch you can flip. When you're constantly comparing yourself to an impossible standard and then looking in the mirror, feeling insufficient is natural. No matter how hard you try, you'll never look like that because no one does, especially not long-term. In 2015, something else shook the family. Bruce Jenner, Kendall and Kylie's dad, divorced Kris Jenner and, a month later, came out as a transgender woman. Around then, Kylie started dating rapper Tyga, who goes by King. She changed her Instagram to King Kylie, kicking off an era remembered by that name. Her makeup style, full lips, dramatic eyes, became iconic. Seeing her popularity, Kylie took her lip kit line to the next level in 2016, rebranding as Kylie Cosmetics and boosting production. Back to Kim, who faced a traumatic event in October 2016. While at Paris Fashion Week, two men dressed as cops broke into her apartment, tied her up, locked her in the bathroom, and stole millions in jewelry, leaving her deeply shaken. It was so bad that she paused reality show filming, and days later, Kanye was hospitalized for a psychiatric crisis, worsened by anxiety from the robbery. He was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which matters later. Despite it all, Kim kept up with her businesses, but the incident changed her. Security became her top priority. Now, let's talk about one of the family's biggest controversies: Kendall Jenner's 2017 Pepsi ad. To get it, remember that police brutality has long affected the Black community, sparking the Black Lives Matter movement. Brands tried to jump on the social justice trend, but Pepsi's attempt bombed. In the ad, Kendall joins a protest and fixes things by giving a cop a Pepsi, which was slammed for making light of a serious issue. Pepsi pulled it the next day and apologized. Kendall stayed quiet for months, then gave a weak apology on the reality show, saying she felt bad if she offended anyone. Despite the drama, her career didn't suffer. She was named the world's highest-paid model that year. In February 2018, Kylie surprised fans by announcing she'd given birth to her first daughter, Stormi, with rapper Travis Scott, whom she'd been dating for a year. Though unexpected given her age, Kylie balanced motherhood and business. That year, Kylie Cosmetics peaked, and her net worth hit $900 million. Forbes featured her with the title America's Women Billionaires, hyping her as the youngest almost billionaire. But not everyone agreed. Critics said she's not self-made, pointing out her famous family and opportunities. That, plus the no-talent critique, is common. Still, some think differently. They see the Kardashians as masters of attention. Today, attention is currency, and they've turned every headline, relationship, and scandal into business gold. Sure, they had privileges, but they didn't just chill, they built an empire. So what's your take? Are they talentless or savvy players? Back to Kim, 2018 was tough. She welcomed her third child, Chicago, via surrogate due to past pregnancy issues. What made it hard was Kanye's mental health. He made worrying comments, like tweeting he and Donald Trump share dragon energy. His support for Trump, linked to racist remarks, drew backlash. Knowing Kanye's bipolar disorder was worsening, Kim tried to balance family and her projects, like Schemes, her inclusive shapewear brand, XXS to 5X. She also had her fourth child, Psalm. In 2020, the pandemic paused reality show filming, and when it resumed, each family member filmed at home for social distancing. During this time, Kylie got back with Travis Scott, and they spent the pandemic together. In September 2021, they announced they were expecting their second child, and Kylie gave birth to a son in February 2022. For Kim and Kanye, the pandemic strained their relationship more. Kanye's increasingly controversial comments and bipolar disorder took a toll, and after trying to save the marriage, Kim filed for divorce in February 2021, ending 6 years of marriage. In 2021, besides Kim and Kanye's split, another chapter closed. After 14 years and 20 seasons, Keeping Up with the Kardashians ended. But they didn't leave TV, they announced the Kardashians on Hulu. The format's similar, but the move was for better pay and fairer deals among the sisters. The Kardashians premiered in 2022. Since then, up to 2025, the family's life has kept changing. Kylie split from Travis Scott, dated Timothy Chalamet, and launched her clothing line, He. Meanwhile, Kim's thrived with schemes and tried acting in American Horror Story. Today, the Kardashian-Jenner clan is more powerful than ever, their pop culture influence undeniable. Love M or hate M, they always stay relevant. I'll end with this. Let's try to view these figures more constructively. Cause, let's face it, we'll keep seeing these beauty ideals on social media, TV, and every scroll. We can't avoid them, but we can change how we look at them. I think the first step to a healthier relationship with these standards is accepting that what's on screen isn't achievable. Everyone's different, and that's fine. It's not about lacking discipline or willpower. Often, what we see isn't real or healthy. Chasing that image forever means living in constant dissatisfaction. And while our self-esteem is shaped by others, we're not powerless. Questioning these ideals can help us find peace. Ask, do I really need to look like that to be valuable? Maybe we can't change the world blasting us with these standards, but maybe we can change how we respond. Our worth isn't about matching someone else's look. Learning to question what's sold as ideal is an act of self-love that, though tough, is worth it.